environmental degradation at Lord Moncton, overfishing, toxic waste dumping, all that's real. There's real environmental problems. But paying carbon taxes to Al Gore and calling for burning down my house, you gonna burn down my house? Let me tell you something. They've already killed people. And now you've got Forbes, one of the most respected outfits there is, period. This is absolutely incredible. Yeah, tell Paul I want to dial him on Skype right now or put him on the phone, but his phone's terrible. Well, his phone's not terrible. He's 7,000 miles away from us in England. Climate alarmist calls for burning down skeptics' home. Writing for Forbes magazine, climate change alarmist Steve Zwick, well, he's not even an alarmist now. He's calling for terrorist acts. Calls for skeptics of man-made global warming to be tracked, hunted down, and have their homes burned to the ground. Yet another shocking illustration of how eco-fascism is rife with the environmentalist lobby. Let me tell you, these aren't strong enough words, Paul. When you're, and we've got his quotes here, saying, come after us, burn our houses down. If I got on air and said, I'm not saying this, but, you know, this senator didn't do what we wanted, or Obama says we're under UN control and our military is, go burn the White House down. Folks, there would be police here in 20 minutes if I said, if I organized through a major media outlet, which we have millions of listeners and readers, it would not be just their duty. It would be an absolute command that I be arrested if I told people to do that. Instead, climate alarmist calls for burning down skeptics' homes. Comparing climate change skeptics to residents in Tennessee who were paid to pay a $75 fee, resulting in firemen sitting back and watching their houses burn down, Zwick rants that anyone who actively questions global warming propaganda should face the same treatment. We know who the active denialists are. Not the people who buy the lies, mind you, but the people who create the lies. Oh, we're all liars because we expose Al Gore as an admitted liar who makes computer graphics of polar bears that can't swim dying when they're the greatest land animal swimmer and hunt by swimming on top ice floes. Or lying about the hockey stick, or lying about carbon dioxide increases preceding temperature increases when it's the other way around, or lying about ice samples, or lying in the emails about hiding the decline in temperature in the last 15 years. This is what we're talking about. And again, it's an even worse call because he's like, they're endangering us, we've got to get them. That's a real call to action. We know who the active denialists are, not the people who buy the lies, mind you, but the people who create the lies. Let's start keeping track of them now. Keeping track of you, pal, as somebody calling for violence. And when the famines come, because the globalists are cutting the food supplies off, that's what Agenda 21 is, under the rule is to shut the food off, then they say we created the famine. See how that works? Let's make them pay. Let's let their houses burn. Let's swap their safe land for submerged islands. Yeah, that's the real commie banker dream, the Rothschild Rockefeller dream, take our property. Again, they create the global meltdown, then they come and redistribute. They tell the big poor hordes of people that didn't get ready, oh, it's their fault, get them. Let's force them to bear the cost of rising food prices. Adding, they broke the climate. Why should the rest of us pay for it? See, we need to be arrested. We need to have our land taken. We need to have our houses burned down. And there's all these other quotes where these people are saying similar things to this. As we have profusely documented, as polls show, fewer and fewer Americans are convinced by the pseudoscience behind man-made global warming, promulgated as it is by control freaks like Zwick, who care more about money and power than they do the environment. AGW adherents are becoming increasingly authoritarian in their pronouncements, and it goes through it. While we're getting Watson on Skype, we close to that. Let's go to a call here. Rico in Canada. Rico, what do you make of this, where they're now saying burn our houses down?
very dangerous, like where it's heading, very fascistic. But that's definitely the climate where it's going.
That's right. Fascism labeled as liberalism.
Correct.
What's on your mind, sir?
There's a quote that you had quoted a while back. There's like two points on it. But there's a quote that you had put a while back saying the duty of the state is to what was it again? My God, I had it in my head. The duty of the state is to make war. That's like the affairs of the state. I remember, I love that quote, so I remembered it. It's actually, because you had quoted it, the Germans got it from Sun Tzu, The Art of War, and also the Book of Lord Shang. It's another book that was written around the Warring States period.
Yeah, well, I think the quote you're referring to is, war is the health of the state.
That's it. The affair of the state, yes. Yeah, that's a quote from Sun Tzu in the Book of Lord Shang. That's correct.
And that's why it's a war economy. Everything is the government and its allied crime corporations waging war on everybody else. War on drugs is their war to have a monopoly on the drugs that they ship in. The war on illiteracy is to make sure you're totally dumbed down. The war on nationalism, the war on men, the war on women, the war on the family.
But yeah, anytime that there's a so-called war that they do, it really gets worse. That's just what I've seen. You know,
no, exactly. When they say they want to help women, yeah, they want to put you in a pine box.
Correct. Yeah, and there was also like I was looking forward because you were talking about how you were going to get some historians on talking about how Capone ran the booze on the train, and it was government trains. I was really looking forward.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's like we can get guests all the time. I brought them the names, the numbers, and if I particularly beg for a guest, it ain't happening. So I went to Hot Springs. I started doing some of the interviews with people, and I said, no, it's just better to get you on. And then it never happened. And I will try to get that done because I was there going to different historical societies, and they were just had all the documents where the government actually had the monopoly with insiders. Capone worked with them. The Rockefellers were big in it. It was amazing information. Thank you so much for your call. Yeah, that's something that we did, and video I shot. And it's weird. I got a great crew, but it's strange. If I say I really want this, I think I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. And I asked probably 25 times, let's get those guests on. And I think it's always so immediate, whatever guest we're working on at that moment, that it then doesn't happen. Yeah, so hell might freeze over before that happens. Let's go ahead and talk to John in Texas. John, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
Back when I was in high school in the mid-'60s, I took a government course, and they talked about the antitrust laws and how Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller back in the early 1900s were trying to monopolize business and drive all the independents out. And if I remember correctly, it was Teddy Roosevelt that helped get the antitrust laws passed, and that's where the term comes from, speak softly and carry a big stick. The big stick was to break up these monopolies. But what I'm asking is, what happened to the antitrust laws? You don't hear about them anymore.
It was all a giant hoax. The private banks lobbied against the Federal Reserve Act, knowing that they were the enemy and discredited. They lobbied against the Federal Reserve Act and said, please don't throw me in the briar patch. And, of course, the rabbit wants to be thrown in the briar patch. Okay, oh, you've captured me. Please eat me. Don't throw me in the briar patch. Okay, so, that's happening. And it was the same thing with the Sherman Antitrust Act. The people knew there were monopolies. They knew they'd robbed everybody. They had big gangs of goons, paramilitary that would come take your land. People started fighting back. So they said, okay, we'll break it up. So they broke Standard Oil up into 10 pieces, later 2 more, so 12 pieces. They broke all these up, but they never really got rid of them. It was just different flavors. And it's like in England, they have 2 major retailers for groceries. But it's owned by the same group. It's just different subsidiaries. And so there was no antitrust act. None of that happened. None of that was real. And to get around it, things like IBM created Microsoft. And they picked the son of a top eugenicist to do it. It's all fake. Steve Jobs, people like that, they're fronts as well. And actually, you can go do research in it and discover all that. So it's all just a handful of old families running the entire thing. Good questions. We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, Watson's Skype is down, and he's going to be on the nightly news tonight anyway, so I'm not going to get Watson up here with us right now. I just wanted to point out that when they say, hey, let's start burning people's houses down in Forbes, if you don't agree with them, I mean, that sounds like the Soviet Red Terror or something. I mean, it's just right out of really dangerous authoritarian moves to bully us. And you notice the Justice Department only goes after people like the right-wing Atari militia that said, yeah, it's too bad the government's getting tyrannical. We might have to defend ourselves one day. All arrested. But giving you some faith, the judge has said release them, drop the charges. The feds, of course, haven't. Now, continuing here, ahead of more of your calls, I'm going to get to more of this later because I could spend an hour on it. But this is a report we've got up at Infowars.com. It's from Living Green Mag. There's a lot of stuff that real environmentalists have got right. Like, hey, let's get the heavy metals out of our food. Got the Washington Post reporting on half of the corn syrups or more have high levels of lead in them or mercury. And continuing, there is a new big study out published in the Clinical Epigenetics directly, and there's a bunch of other studies showing this too, the massive increase in autism linked, amongst other toxins in the environment, to the fact that, see, what's happening on air is I'm getting distracted because we have document cams in here, and this is like a TV show, but I can't direct it because the document cam isn't in the right place like it is on the nightly news. So constantly I'm fighting to try to like show documents. Just no more document cam until we get it fixed. No more. No more. It's driving me to the ends of madness right now. I mean, I am just so angry right now. I'm about to go completely insane. There's got to be a way to mount cameras in here where we can see the stuff. I mean, there's just it's somewhere in life on Earth. There's got to be. I mean, hell. Okay, just a minute. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that the system knows full well that these empty foods with no minerals in them to speak of, grown on played-out soils using toxic fertilizers, are bioaccumulating in the food, all these heavy metals and toxins, but also we don't have minerals. And minerals, healthy minerals, good minerals, the study shows, bind with the toxins and take them out of your body. So our children are full of all these poisons and then don't have the minerals. And here comes the infomercial, because it is revolutionizing. We have a handyman that does stuff, you know, every once in a while around our house, who's lost 30-something pounds in a couple months and couldn't believe it because he listens to the show on Tangy Tangerine that doesn't even advertise as weight loss beyond Tangy Tangerine. My mother has lost 30-something pounds. Aaron Dykes lost over 90. I've lost over 40. And I'm still eating the same stuff. All of it just flushing out of your body. It's amazing. It's just incredible. Because it's not just that you need these for your body. They flush you. These raw, organic minerals, not the fake things you get in these pills that most of the people sell. I'm telling you, they know what they're doing at Longevity. It's discounted at Infowars.com. You can get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip. Check into that. That's a big deal. You can sign up, be a distributor, and get 10% off. And again, InfoWarsTeam.com. It is amazing product, and I really believe in it. I only promote what I have seen for myself to have dramatic, powerful effects. Beyond Tangy Tangerine at InfoWarsTeam.com. There's also a phone number there to order on the website. But this is already what Dr. Wallach has been saying, and here's another study. The minerals flush you. Okay, we've got guests coming up here in about 8 minutes.